Be the very best. No one ever was. Hey, stop it.
Please, no.
Cool girl.
Down.
Yes.
Happy day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the second episode of the Dream State podcast. It is your girl, KPV. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has shown love for the first episode with Kiko Yamashita. And to no surprise, I have asked him to be my new co-host. Yeah, thank you to everyone who has watched that first episode. You know, that was our first one, so we're still learning our flow. Best believe your girl got the encyclopedia out, got the dictionary out. I was taking notes on what I could have done better. It was a good episode. And so today for the second episode, we have a very special guest. He's another local boy that has grown up in our local music scene and has eventually branched out. He's played in multiple bands such as Tribal Theory and now plays with Jason J, 56 Hope, and now Kolohe Kai. He's a proud Chamorro musician, artist, songwriter, and producer.
And he just smashed last night at Epel Beach with Kolohe Kai at the Hafaloa concert series. Our good friend, Peter Cruz, a.k.a. Håle.
Booyah, booyah!
Viva Tataguan!
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Are you like jet lagged?
I'm so tired. I woke up like every hour last night.
Real?
Every hour.
You still had that concert adrenaline, right?
Yeah, I think it was the adrenaline from the show because the vibes were crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm getting over it. By the time I get home, I think the jet lag will start to wear off. We'll see.
Yeah. How is it? So we just mentioned you just came home from Kolohe Kai. The concert was just last night. Did you do anything today to like readjust or like get back into a flow?
Yeah. First time I actually sat down and had breakfast. We went to brunch. All like the homies, like high school friends and my brother, and got to see my grandpa. Went to the ranch and just
Not the ranch.
Yeah,
Pajuli Ranteru.
Not the ranch.
I finally got like some time to like feel the ground. You know what I mean? We're just moving so fast through this whole like past 3 days, but yeah, today was finally my chance to unwind. Everybody left today from the concert, so I decided to stay one more day and see family. So it was much needed.
When's the last time you were home?
I was here in April with Jason J.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We were here with 56 Hope. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
Right. Yeah,
That's
for
right.
the 420 event with Big Mountain, and then prior to that with Jason J.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah. So not too long ago, but it's always nice to be back.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. We forgot to mention that Peter he used to be in Tribal Theory.
Yes.
But now he's currently in he plays with Jason J, 56 Hope, and now Kolohe Kai. And he also is a solo artist, which his name is Håle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And you cover for a bunch of other people. Ellie Mack, you've played with.
I played with Ellie Mack.
Who else?
Man, that's
4-piece band.
Man, four-piece band. I played. Yeah, we did Cali Roots with 4-piece, Freddie and JC and all them. And then, with Tribal Theory, we backed other artists like we did Spawn Breezy. Yeah, 1 year. And I've done like Albert Posis, like the Philam crew, like the R&B stuff. We've done that. Jam with like Jesse Rivera and all these other cats like in LA and San Diego. But for the most part, like just the reggae scene, and those are the main ones I would say. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's dope. Yeah.
How about we go back to the beginning? I think I've heard so many people come up to you and talk about Table for Five.
Oh my gosh.
How about let's bring it back to Table for Five? Because I don't know actually.
Yeah, we were too young. We weren't in the scene. Like we weren't even old enough to watch you, to be honest.
Yeah. That was like 2007 through like 2009-ish. Or around that time, because I moved out in 2010 to California.
What grade were you in 2007?
I was 7 years old.
Oh my God. I'm like,
in 2007. That means I was 9. Dude. I was 9 years old in these moments. Holy cow.
I'm definitely a lot older. So, but yeah, no, Table for Five was my cover band. We did like a bunch of we played venue over here all the time. We did like when Sheraton had Atrio, there was like a little bar at the bottom. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was fun times. And
Sheraton.
Sheraton, yeah.
Newsflash, we don't. I'm just kidding, bro.
Dude, you're making me feel old, bro. Yeah, but we were like one of the I want to say one of the first like Guam bands that like have like a full horn section, like reggae wise. Yeah, so we had like trumpet and trombone player, and then eventually we added like sax here and there. Yeah, and we just jams, cover tunes, had a couple originals, and opened up for the first time Revolution came to Guam. We opened up for them. That was cool. And then Tribal Seeds. I want to shout out my boy Boog.
He's
Boog's
here.
in studio.
He's here.
You guys will meet him eventually. You'll meet him eventually.
He'll be on.
Yeah,
He'll
we're
be on.
gatekeeping that. He'll be on the show.
Yeah. So it's crazy how it's like all like intertwined with Guam and like Chamorro musicians and stuff like that. We're all like it's come full circle. So Table for Five was the beginning of my reggae, being involved in any type of reggae. You know what I mean? So.
There's this really famous picture of you playing with Table for Five where you had like it was a hairstyle of. Can you describe it for us? You know what it is.
Yeah, I think they simply put it was an afro.
Yeah, let's talk about the afro because
Pull it up.
What decision was that?
Pull it up. Put it on the screen right now.
Yeah. Pick up the picture.
Jamie, pull it up.
Because I saw the afro for the first time like maybe 2 years ago, and I was like, no way. I was like, no way did he decide on an afro. You have hair texture that can like grow that?
I didn't know that. I didn't know. So it was actually like I went through this phase of like I wanted to be Rasta. You know what I mean? Like just I want to be like rootsy and Rasta. So I'm going to grow my hair. And the main goal was like I'm going to dread. And I didn't realize like it was going to take a lot longer than than I thought it would, and it just turned into an afro. So I bought a pick.
Big afro.
Dude, it was
big. People thought it was fake. Like I was wearing a wig like around.
It
like,
looked fake.
Well, you also wore a headband with it too.
I
right?
did.
That's why it looked fake, I think.
Yeah, because I couldn't leave the house without picking it and like blow drying it. So I had to use like a headband to put it together, or else I would have looked like a crazy person walking.
And that was
around
high school days?
Right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
Yeah. So, but I'll never do that
Fresh
again. Too
adult
much work.
with an afro on Guam.
It had to be, dude, that had to be a sweaty afro.
Dude, yeah.
humid.
Yeah,
Come
like
on,
back
man.
of my neck. Oh my God, dude.
I think I even saw a clip of you guys were playing a gig and you were dancing, and just the way the afro was like moving, like it added to it.
It was like super comedic, like a cartoon.
Yeah. So what did your parents like think of that? The afro?
My mom loved it. My dad, like, he was probably indifferent. He thought it was cool, but like my mom loved it, and she was like super supportive of it. Like my mom's like super businesswoman. My dad's like, everybody's like just been hardworking all their life. And I was like, I don't think they're gonna like tattoos, or maybe they don't like long hair, but they were down with it. And I was stoked that they supported me.
So when we eventually met you, you were already living in San Diego. How did we get from afro and playing in Table for Five to meeting you playing with all these musicians, being in Tribal Theory, playing with Kolohe Kai, and you're living in San Diego? How did we get there?
Well, so like when I left in 2010, and I initially, I graduated from Trinity, which doesn't exist anymore, up in Gigo. Yeah.
Shout out Trinity.
Shout out Trinity.
R.I.P. Trinity.
Crusaders, let's go. Top 12, baby.
Crusaders. Oh.
It turned into St. Paul North. And then the school shut down. That was after I left. And then I went to UOG for a little bit, and I was like, dude, I kind of got to get out of here. I need a change of scenery. And then I went to pilot school. Yeah, so I got my pilot license, and then I was like, okay, I want to be a pilot. Like, I'm going to try this out. Didn't work out because, like, I was with I went to a school that was just super fast paced, and I don't really learn like that. So I was like kind of burnt out. And then eventually we went to this, I don't know if you guys remember Junior Seau, the Chargers. He played on the Chargers football team.
Okay.
And he had a restaurant in San Diego at the time, and it was like a giant sports bar. But in the back, they had like this sushi bar, and on Wednesdays they would do like an island night. So I was looking for something that reminded me of Guam, or like, hanging out with people and our peers and stuff like that, Chamorro people, Islanders, and also in search of like reggae music. And so they had a reggae music event like on a Wednesday night, and Tribal Theory happened to be like just doing an acoustic thing. Ended up, turns out that their manager was a Chamorro guy, and my dad was like chopping it up with him, and he hit me up like a couple weeks later because he had like gotten my email. He's like, hey, we need like somebody to play bass, and I started playing bass for Tribal Theory, and eventually it turned into a guitar position because people were like subbing out, and they were, you know, trying to rebrand and, you know, create more of like a professional environment for like gigging and touring. And that led to another thing, and that led to more networking, and then kind of just started meeting people and started gigging more. Yeah. It was pretty much the story, like in a nutshell.
Dang, so it was just a restaurant? It was just a restaurant that
Yeah.
had an island night?
Yeah, so it was actually, it felt like when you walked in, it felt like GameWorks kind of. High ceilings, like bunch of tables and chairs everywhere. And then in the back, it was just a tiny sushi bar. Yeah, they would just throw like island nights every Wednesday just to like have a community. You know what I mean? Because San Diego, like the only time like it felt like community was like, you know, they have this Pacific Island Fair, or they have that whole PIFA event in San Diego that a lot of people come out to, but it didn't feel like they had a community event every week. And that was the one. So that's where you would go out and you see Chamorro people, you see people from Guam and Hawaii and stuff like that. So
That's great.
yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What made you decide San Diego?
My mom's sister, she lived in San Diego for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would go out for summers, like when I was younger. She lived in a town in east of the city. It's called Spring Valley, and I moved out there, and I didn't know, like, all I knew was my auntie's house and like the environment. So like when we were looking for homes, or like apartments, we were like, oh, let's go to Spring Valley. But it was not like, I don't think I really fit in there. So like I eventually moved out of that town and moved up a little bit north, and it's just the fact that I had family there.
Yeah.
And it was the only thing familiar to me other than Guam.
Yeah.
And opportunity for school. You know, they had school and stuff like that.
And you want to feel some kind of like home aspect when you're fresh off leaving Guam. And
exactly. I think if I moved anywhere else, I would have come back to Guam, because there's no sense of like home other than there, because it was familiar to me, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you decided that you wanted to move, was it like, did you have to sit on that decision and be like, do I want to do this right now, or do I wait like a year? Or was it like right when you decided I want to move, everything was like bam, bam, bam?
Yeah, it was probably within a span of like 2-3 months
That's
of
fast.
deciding it. And then I was like, yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Because at the time, like the band started to go in different directions, and I didn't feel like I really had like a calling as far as like school or like a career here. At the time I was working at Docomo, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like it was a great job, and like the gigs were great, but I just needed something a little more.
Yeah.
And then I ended up deciding, just like after 3 months, I was like, I'm not going to do UOG anymore. It would have been cool to continue, but I was like, let me experience something new. And yeah, just did it. Bought the tickets, moved out, and tried to figure everything out from there.
That says a lot about you, bro. 3 months is fast.
3 months is
3
really
months
fast.
is fast.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's like I was at the point where like if I didn't make that decision then and there, I probably would have just stayed. And you know, I mean, who knows what my life would have turned into if I stayed. Probably would have been, you know, just as great, but I wouldn't have had the same opportunities, I think, if I didn't move for myself. And now I'm sitting here with you guys.
Isn't it funny how
cool, dude.
It plays out like that? Like some of the fastest decisions you make turn into the biggest outcomes and the biggest opportunities. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, and taking that leap of faith is, I think, so important in our careers, like with music. Because if you don't take that leap of faith, then you don't know what you're missing. And like, really like...
And you just grow so comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. No risk, no reward, you know? So that's kind of my mindset. Still is, and at the time, and I kind of approach life in that way. You
That's
know?
a perfect transition into our next topic. I wanted to ask you, so like, you're talking about leaps of faith. You were playing with a bunch of artists. You were in bands. You were in a like a community scene for the most of it. And then you decided, you want to start a solo career. Håle was born.
Yeah.
What was that leap of faith like?
What
made you do that?
I think with tribal theory, like I reached my threshold of like creativity, and I just wanted to expand my ability as a songwriter, and like writing music in general is like always a collective thing with bands. Like from the beginning, like I always considered writing music, it had to be something with a band, but seeing other artists do it on their own, I at one point I was like, I want to challenge myself and write music, and create a sound that is unique to me and not necessarily a collective. And I also wanted to collaborate more with my friends, and that's a biggest thing that I've like taken away from it is like, I don't know if I would have had that same opportunity to collaborate so much. And there were limits, not in a negative way, but like I am one of how many band members that can make a decision. And if it's just me, then I can work with whoever I want. And I can work with people that I love and people that I look up to. And it gave me that opportunity. And that's how it ultimately developed my sound because of that collaboration. So that's what I was looking forward to, is breaking off, collaborating, and just developing a sound of my own, you know?
Did you love that? Did you like being in solo art? Did you like making your own music?
Dude,
at first?
Yeah. No. At first it was like it's like a learning experience, because we're all like kind of geeky when it comes to like guitars and like songwriting and like getting into like software, like the programs that we use to record. So like that's something I had to navigate, and I would sit in front of the computer and like want to bang my head because like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But that collaboration taught me a lot. And like now I, in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, that's really what helped me, because I'm the type of person that wants to do everything, and I kind of have that like outlook, like if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Same.
But I've learned doing this solo thing has helped me learn that it's okay to let go and trust other people, and trust that they're going to respect your artistry and vice versa. You know what I mean? So at first, no, it was not fun. I was so frustrated, because like all I knew was GarageBand. You know what I mean? Like, and GarageBand is like this, like, you get it on your Mac. Anybody that has a MacBook, you got GarageBand, open it up. Yeah. It's there.
Try it out, by the way. If it's on your laptop, try it out. You never know what kind of music you'll make.
You got it. Why not?
You might turn into Håle.
Or KPV.
Or Kiko.
Or Kiko Yamashita.
How about let's talk about what the decision to make your stage name Håle. That's a Chamorro word, right? What is that? What is the definition, the English definition, and what does that word mean to you, and why did you choose that name?
Yeah. Håle means roots, both like your genealogy and also physical roots, right? So like being not living on Guam is, I think mentally is like definitely a struggle for me, because I feel like I have something that I have to uphold and also live up to, like I'm representing Guam in a certain way, and I want to make sure I do it in the proper way. And I felt like I had to incorporate our language and the Chamorro language into the name. And my music keeps me rooted, you know what I mean? And when I'm writing, I think about our community. I think about writing about our history and our experiences as Chamorro people. But it's also, the reason why I chose that name is like for people that are disconnected, where they're like, they moved away from Guam, or they're part of the diaspora and like didn't grow up in Guam and have some kind of connection here, whether it be the family or, just Chamorro by blood, or Guamanian, people who lived here for a little bit and then, they're no longer here. And I think I wanted to give them some kind of sense of community through music. And so that when they listen to that, they feel like they share my experiences, what I grew up with, and maybe that they can learn about the culture by listening to the music. So yeah, that was a goal. My good friend, Ken Cooper, he's a professor at UOG, and we went to high school together, and we played in metal bands here in high school. Shout out to Contagion. Him for the Tortured, some metal bands, you know, from Guam.
Metal?
Yeah, so that's where we started, and he speaks Chamorro fluently. So I had asked him, I was like, bro, like, I need your help. Like, when you think of me and like being one of my best friends for a long time, like, what do you think is a great word? And the first thing he said was Hali. And I was like, okay, game over.
Beautiful.
That's it. And then everything just worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it all worked out, and
It was rooted.
yeah. Yeah.
It was rooted.
Deep rooted.
Wow, I didn't know you were in metal bands too.
Surrender the Thief. We forgot to shout out Surrender the Thief.
Yeah, shout out to
It's another
Surrender the Thief.
Charles and Jonah.
Yep.
that's a
Dan
band you're in with
Sussex,
them?
all these guys like FD Boys. Yeah. So we did a Japan tour in 2019. That was fun. But that was like my roots, like rock music and like metal, because I mean, reggae was like relatively new, like we always listened to reggae, right? It's everywhere. But playing it wasn't until like late, like after high school. It was always rock and metal, and I wanted to be, you know, that teenager with angst and wanted to spin guitars and like mosh people. Like we'd have shows at like there used to be a spot where across the live house called Hellfish Tavern, and we would like go and have shows there and just hit each other and play loud music. It was a good time. And my dad, that's a good point. When we were moshing, my dad's like the chaudest guy you ever meet, but super chill, right?
I love that about him.
Bringing my dad to a metal show, like complete polar opposites, right? But he supported me. He was always at all of my shows, and so we were moshing, and like that's a part of the show. Like that's just an element of going to a metal show, and just his Chamorro instincts like kicked in. He was like grabbing people, like, "Hey, stop it!" And like we had to tell him, like, "Dad, shout out, Dad, shout out my dad."
Uncle Pete, I love you, man.
But he was like, you know, like we had to explain to him, like, this is part of the show, bro. Like, let people hit each other. It's not a big deal. If somebody bumps into you, just get out of the way.
Yeah. I want Uncle Pete to know that he's not alone, because even when I first got into the scene and I saw moshing for the first time, I was like, people are crazy. Like, this is not like, there's not even enough space for that too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy.
No, yeah.
And I was just at Uncle Pete where I'm like, stop, please, no.
And those shows here on Guam are not in big venues. They're small.
They're small.
It's like the size of this room. Yeah, like we're just
Exactly.
hitting each other
For fun.
in this room.
But
yeah,
it is,
like,
you know what? As someone who's been in a mosh pit and kind of likes doing it, there's a thing to it. There's a little.
Yep.
I've never thought I'd
There's a
understand
vibe.
it. Maybe I still don't understand it, but I enjoy it. And it's fun.
There's definitely a vibe.
I think I'll understand it if I ever get the courage to join one in. But whenever he gets to a mosh pit, I get so nervous.
Yeah, you need like a mouth guard. Like, can you imagine losing
Like,
your teeth
everything-
after a show? Like, no teeth.
Favorite mosh move. Everyone has, shout out to Chris Sumampong. He has my favorite mosh move. He does this skip and the elbows come up. What's your favorite go-to mosh move?
I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's kind of like ska has like this type of skanking thing.
Yeah.
But then there's also like this like windmill like hand thing. That's my thing.
See,
What
that's
are these?
crazy,
There,
dude.
like,
That's crazy.
And I didn't have the mosh moves. Like I don't want people to watch this and be like, yeah, this guy knew what he was doing. I just copied people and like just threw my arms up, and hopefully like I hit somebody.
Yeah.
They hit me back. The adrenaline's going, and like
Yeah, it's an energy
whatever.
thing, huh?
That's all it is.
Yeah. An exchange of energy. Yeah, mosh pits are crazy.
Yeah.
Don't think I've ever been one, but it's fun watching it. Yeah.
My days are over.
It's
Yeah.
fun, yeah.
I'm getting too old for that, so you won't see me in a mosh pit anytime soon.
The metal influence really makes sense because like your first song, Feel That, the first release that you had, there's a solo section where the guitars kind of go off and you go halftime. That's also, side note, that's my favorite Holly song. Still, I don't think anything's gonna. I mean, I love all the Holly stuff. I mean, we've played a whole set two times already, three times actually.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's like my go-to. Bring it back in the set. Next time we play, please.
Yeah, no. That's definitely a song that it's the first song. You know what I mean? So I really cherish that song. But I was pushed to my limits as far as like on the production side because Jesse Barrera did all that, and he really challenges you when it comes to being in the studio, and like he doesn't baby you, and he's like, you know, you're gonna write, and we're gonna write until you get it right. And like sometimes like I don't necessarily work that way, but being put in that like position actually brings the best out of you. You just got to get into those uncomfortable situations. And I'm not really one to like take risks like that. I like to sit in my room and just be by myself and start writing, but I don't know. Feel That definitely is one of the more technical songs.
For sure.
And yeah, I'd like to write more like that. So I just got to put myself in more uncomfortable positions. But
as artists, we know like it's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to actually truly love a song that you make, just because you always know there's something I could have done better, or at least you think there's something I could have done better, but it ends up becoming that song, ends up becoming Feel This or Feel That. So like, without giving yourself too much pressure, without overthinking how you made that song, what is your favorite song that you've made?
That I've written like in my current catalog.
That's really in the current catalog.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It's tough. There's a lot of good ones, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely when it comes to like the musical aspect of it, I love Feel That. But not because it's like more of the popular one, but because of the way that the song came about. Like it means so much to me is like Isla. It's like that's my favorite one. And we always joke around.
Here we go.
Yeah,
this is for you. This is for you, Guam. ISLA, Guam is where I'm from. Yes. Kingdom of our people. Great song, dude.
Thank you.
Great song.
It is.
Yeah, and like I know it sounds cheesy, but like I was watching a video. I was watching some kind of Instagram reel, and like somebody was strumming like a melody, and then I went to the room and like just started jamming the guitar, and like when I went to sleep, like that melody stuck with me. But I shit you not, and I know it sounds super corny, but I did wake up with the lyrics like in my head. And it was like, so my goddaughter's name is Isla, and so like it just worked out, and I was just like, okay, I think I have an idea, and I wrote the hook, and then like everything else kind of like fell into place. But I think that one is most near and dear to me, not because it's the most popular like one in the catalog. It just everything about it was just so organic.
Yeah, and
I love that it is what it is because like it just happened to be. It was there. It was just waiting to be created. Yeah. So.
Welcome to the Dream State podcast, where you make songs in your dreams.
Literally.
Before, I don't know why I'm so intrigued by this metal era of yours. I'm so intrigued by it. So there's Table for Five.
Yeah.
And then what other bands were you in?
I was in a band with my friend Charles. He is like, so his brainchild was Surrender the Thief. And definitely I listen to them like when I work out, like one of my favorite bands, and then completely unbiased. Like I love his writing, and I love the way that he's grown as a songwriter. But his first band was called By Blood. And I played bass for them. And we had Charles Mahino, Jonah, Posadas, and then at the time it was we had Alex Lugua that was drumming, and then we had Nate Titano ended up playing drums for us. So that's how I know Nate, and that's how I know all these guys.
You had both of them in the band.
Yeah. So
Another
Alex first, and then Nate.
Drummers.
Yeah. So that was the first metal band that I like really like dedicated a lot of time to, and then we had like some other like one-off bands through high school. But that was where I dedicated all of my time. Like we had Brian Munya, who's a great cinematographer, and he did the Isla video.
Yep.
We were just talking about that. We were chatting about it.
Yeah. So and then all these like Shiro's Head, all those guys, they did the By Blood video, one of our first music videos, and that was one of the first music videos I was ever in. So this is like a ton of collaboration with like other people doing other artistry and stuff like that, and that kind of got my start like with that level of production when it came to like songwriting was metal. But that's the only other band I think. Yeah.
Did it start with metal and then it led to Table for Five?
No. So my true backstory is I used to jam guitar at school. I would bring my guitar to school. And then eventually my dad worked on Anderson forever. And so he had friends at work that would bring their guitars to work after hours. And so we would go into this warehouse and we would just set up our amps and drum kits. And I had to be like 13. And we would just jam like with these people who were like twice my age. And we didn't know what we were doing. We were just playing like rock and roll, like AC/DC and stuff like that. Yeah. And then one time my dad was like, boy, I'm going to take you to this bar called Lucky 2 in Jigo next to Payless. My par shabby knows about
I've been there. I've been there. Lucky 2, yeah. That's where there was a crazy car accident up there. You remember that?
Yeah.
It jumped over like 10 cars.
Yes. Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, that's the spot.
Yeah, so that
put that in your head.
Yeah. Right. So that whole that building there, they had that little bar. And my dad knew the owner at the time. And so he's like, yeah, before the bar opens, just bring your boy and just come jam. And it was literally just guitar and drums.
No low end, no bass.
No real like traditional setup for a band. But that was like the beginning of that. And then through like my dad's friends and like, just mutual friends and stuff like that, I ended up joining a band. They used to be called, back in the day, they were called Madagascar. And so they were like a local rock group. But at the time when I jumped in with that band, they're all like, my dad's age. We were called ON or On. Yeah. So we played like Sumai Grill and stuff like that. We had like a weekly thing at Sumai Grill, and it was just all these older cats that were like 80s metalheads or rock heads. And
did they wear the wigs?
No. Oh. They were a little bit more cello than that.
Okay. Because those bands tend to wear the wigs.
Yeah.
No, but that was a beginning. Is like classic rock, and then that was like my segue into metal. And then me and Freddie Bordalio, who's plays for a 4-piece band. We were playing metal together, and then he had decided like, yo, like we want to play reggae. I was like, okay, like I like reggae, but I didn't really understand. And that's how Table for Five started. After that. So it was just like a collective of all of us who were like 2008 alumni from FD and other schools. And we decided to play metal for so long. We're like kind of tired of this. Let's go to the bars and make money and play music that people can dance to. And that's how Table for Five started. We would do, I don't know if they did it anymore or they do it anymore, but we used to have like, what did they call it? Where I think it was called Cold Stone like nights or something at GPO. They would set up like in front, they would set up pop-up tents and they would have bands play like right in front of Cold Stone.
Really?
That's where Table for Five first started. And I slowly worked my way into those gigs.
Cold Stone, if you're listening, let's start that up again. That sounds like a great idea to get some up-and-coming bands around.
That would be fun.
That would be
have
so
some
cool.
local gigs out there in front of the movie theater.
Yeah, the movie
Or Marble Slab. How about you one them up?
Yeah.
Marble Slab, come on.
So I asked on Kiko's episode, I asked them like, what was the music you were exposed to growing up? So when you were like a young boy, what music was playing in your house or like?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
A lot of Casey. So Casey De Leon Guerrero. Like one of my favorite Chamorro albums in this entire world is Saipan.
Yeah.
I love that album. So I can listen to that back and forth. Like I remember being my dad's like hard body, like just singing every song, not singing it, just mumbling the Chamorro words, But that's, that for sure Chamorro music all over the place. My mom, she really liked like the Eagles, Celine Dion, then Michael Learns How to Rock, stuff like that, like it was very eclectic. But then again, like reggae too, like my uncle, like my grandpa has a ranch in Dedido, and I would spend most of my time there growing up, and my uncle would blast Fiji, all these like greats from like Hawaiian reggae and stuff like that. Even all the way down to Mana'o Company and all these great artists from Hawaii. That was my Hawaii reggae like introductory lesson was from my uncle, my mom's brother. I'm going to the ranch and he would just jam that. And my dad, you know, obviously listened to a lot of rock and roll. It was so eclectic. Yeah. Metal was my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would go to
that makes sense.
Yeah, we go to Navy, like big Navy, and every time we went to the NEX, like I would just ditch my parents and just go look at CDs. And find the newest CD that released that like Tuesday, because they released on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So on that weekend, the next week, there's always new CDs. I would always try to find like the most like random rock album or like metal album. Mm-hmm. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was because of my parents and like their eclectic influence. I kind of dabbled in other genres.
Has your uncle that showed you the Hawaiian reggae stuff, has he seen you play yet?
He came. Yeah, he came last night to the Kolohe Kai concert, the Hafaloa concert, and my uncle is he's very stoic. You know, he's a carver. He does limestone carvings and he makes necklaces and all that. And I come from a very like loving family. There's like, you know, there's a lot of love in my family, but I don't think he's ever seen me play. And last night I was like super touched because he was like, you know, I don't really go to concerts. I don't really listen to music like, you know, like this, you know what I mean? Like I don't go and like listen to music and want to go to concerts and go experience that. But like, and I love Kolohe Kai, like I love his music, but today like changed me in a sense. Like I got an experience that I don't think I would have ever had gotten if you didn't invite me. So like I felt like that was like a big like thing for me. I was like, wow, because we don't have that kind of conversation, you know. Like I have a loving family, but like sometimes like I'm not super close to every single person in my family. I'm close to like my immediate family, but in that sense, I felt like I got really close to him, and I was like, wow, like it was like full circle. You kind of introduced me to that island reggae and that Hawaiian reggae, and for you to experience that concert and just feel kind of like changed, not only by like Kolohe Kai and Roman's testimony and all that, but just experiencing the music itself. And to tell me that, I was like, man, that made it all worth it.
Yeah, cut the cameras, get the tissue. Come on.
I know, for real. That was beautiful. I was like, what the heck? Uncle.
Full circle moment, man. Another full circle moment.
Uncle. Wow. I know. I'm saying I low-key, I was about to tear. But then I was like, no, just keep going. Keep going.
Here, let me wipe your tears. You can borrow this.
We're going to take a quick break from the Dream State podcast. If you don't see this behind me, we got Island Feels in the Hills, brought to you by Clutch Music, featuring The Green, the Ohana, the Boys. They're coming to Guam January 18th. Tickets are live now at clutchmusic.com. Please buy some tickets, support the fam. Also, it's going to be a great show, so you might as well show up. Let's go. So, speaking of Kolohe Kai, like everyone, the whole island just saw you play at Epal Beach last night. Everyone wants to know, like, how does a Chamorro guy end up on stage with one of Guam's favorite Hawaiian artists?
Yeah, I was actually supposed to play with Through the Roots. Our good friend Cam.
Yeah, shout out Cam.
Shout out Cam.
Calvin again.
Calvin. Evan. Brady. Yeah, big up to
Evan.
Through
That
the
guy
Roots.
knows a lot, man. That guy's like tech savvy, bro.
You can build a house for you, bro.
Build a house and an in rap.
Yeah.
And a guitar bowl.
Yeah.
He made our guitar bowl.
Yeah. No, Evan is great.
And
man.
a tour bus.
No, so Evan hit me up and he was like, hey, you know, Cam can't do a couple shows, so if you can cover for him, like, you know, that'd be great. So we were looking at some dates, and it was for the Kolohe Kai. They just released like their Hazel Eyes album, and they were supposed to open up for like that whole tour pretty much. And so Cam couldn't do it, and Evan was like, yeah, yo, if you can't do it, like, that'd be great. Turns out
Through
like
the Roots.
With Through the Roots. So I was supposed to play with Through the Roots, and it just, for whatever reason, things didn't work out. They got another guitar player, and I was like, okay, cool. You know, like, no biggie. And then like about a week later, within like maybe 2 weeks before the tour, he was like, yo, another opportunity like presented itself. Roman and Kolohe Kai, they actually need a guitar player. It just, you know, it didn't work out with their previous one for this tour, and they wanted to see if you were available. I was like Kolohe Kai, like the one that I listened to in high school, like
Cool
Girl.
Down.
Like Ehu Girl. Yeah.
And I was like kind of starstruck with that question. You know, I was like, yeah, man, that's crazy. First of all, secondly, half yes, because I got to check with work. You know what I mean? Like I got to make sure I have the time to do it. So I got with my, because I have a day job. So I work in aviation, and I work in aviation software. And I was like, I need to talk to my boss, man. And my boss was like, we got the coverage, go for it. So
Dang.
Evan hooked me up with Kolohe Kai's manager. They're like, hey, send us some videos, kind of see where you stand and like how you play guitar and see if you're a good fit. I was like, cool. And I remember the night I went to a hot pot in San Diego. I went to get dinner with my girlfriend at the time, now my wife now.
Mm-hmm. Shout her out. Come on.
Shout out to my wife.
Wifey.
Shout out to my wife.
Show the ring.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
I don't want to embarrass her, but shout out to my wife.
This is the Kolohe guy. That's the Kolohe girl.
She got me my wedding ring has EFIT in it, which is kind of cool. So it's a custom ring. So
that is cool.
Shout out my wife. But we went to get dinner, and I had sent my videos to their management, and I was like, just kind of like, I don't know what was gonna happen. Nothing was confirmed. They were just kind of like, see if you're a good fit. And I was like, man, like this would be a solid gig. Like I love Kolohe Kai. Like I'm a fan. Like I remember Cruz. Like my mom used to live in Las Palmas, and I had like a brand new 2009 Civic, subs, had sounds in there, and I would just the only CDs I had in my car was like Kolohe Kai, like bumping Ehu Girl and all that stuff. So like I sent the video, we were eating dinner, and I got the text. He was like, hey, we just went through your videos. Roman checked it out, and he was like, yeah, we love what you do. We love what we see. And yeah, he was like, if you're good to go on tour, here's the shows. Yeah. I was like, whoa, like this is like for real. Like this is like a for real thing.
That's
like,
exactly how it feels.
Yeah. And I was like, and I'm like, we did a lot of tours with Tribal Theory. We would get in our van and we would drive across the country, and we did like this really big like 4-month tour with like the Expendables in like 2016. And
4 months?
4 months. Yeah. 4 months.
Crazy.
4 straight, no breaks.
Well, we had like a week in between shows, or like 2 weeks at max, and I would fly back.
You get to go home though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so, but this was different. You know what I mean? Like in the sense, like this was like a professional, like a tour, like on a tour bus. Like that's a crazy concept, right? And yeah, so they were like, yeah, we're down.
Yeah.
And they sent me all the tracks, and I started learning, and then I started to communicate with Roman. This is my first time like interacting with him. I was like, man, this guy's awesome. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so like in 2022, I did their Hazel Eyes tour. I did about like 8 shows with them or so. And then the following year we did Cali Roots. That was kind of like a one-off thing. And then we did the summer tour. And a lot of the shows that he did in that summer tour, he sold out a lot of those venues.
I got to see you at one of those shows.
Yeah, what show was that?
Denver. We were in Denver.
Yes,
I was with Maoli, and we literally played the same venue the night before.
Yes.
And then you guys played, and we came to watch. The whole crew came to watch.
Yes, a whole Maoli crew came out. Kiko was there. We got some drinks after the show.
Of course.
Rode some scooters in really cold weather.
That was fun. Yeah, no. That was a great show. And and now, like we're here. Like we just did the Guam show, but this year in 2024 was my 3rd tour with them, and I'm now my 2nd year as a guitar player for Kolohe Kai. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been good vibes, man. It's such a great team. Everybody's so family oriented, and like they have the same like Chamorro and Hafaday spirit, like with their Aloha spirit. They have such what Roman says a lot is like mana. Like they have a lot of good mana, and you can feel it every time you're around these guys. And there's no egos. It's just family vibes, and I'm super happy. Mm-hmm. And to do it in Guam, to be here in Guam and play a show at Kolohe Kai after listening to them in my 2009 Civic, bumping in with my sounds. Oh, dude, it's like full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so crazy. you've been able to bring a show like that where it's built out in the mainland, San Diego specifically for Tribal Theory.
Yeah.
And you got to bring that home. You played. We actually with Phoenix Stage Band, we had opened up for you at one of these Liberation.
We never got to talk about when I first met you.
At Liberation?
That's what the show was?
Yeah.
Yes.
When they first built, it was the year. It was
Chamorro
the year
Village.
after Festpac, I believe,
Okay.
Chamorro Village.
at Chamorro Village.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, I remember
When
that.
they first built all the new pavilions and
And it was a Tribal Theory show?
Yes.
yeah, and we played right before them.
That was my last Guam show at Tribal Theory. I want to say that was 2006, 17?
17, because
Yeah.
Festpac was
Yeah.
in 2016.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember meeting you.
Yeah. Backstage.
Yeah, at Chamorro Village.
Yeah.
But dang, I didn't remember that it was a Tribal Theory show.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't a Tribal Theory show per se.
For
It was a
Liberation.
free liberation show featuring
Tribal
Tribal
Theory.
Theory, Pedro Cruz, the ranchero, the famous ranchero, Pedro Cruz from Chandu Coronado.
Dang.
Yeah, you played a. You know what? At that time, that's when I first had like kind of looked into who you were because I heard there was a Guam guitar player. We saw you. He was kind of handsome. I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was that crazy.
No,
but everyone was like,
No.
"Oh, he's so handsome." I was like, "Well, he's like 2 inches shorter than me. Come on,
Yeah.
guys."
I'm like
But-
5.5.
I'm 5'7".
Me too.
I'm 5'7.5". So, but
More
when I
average.
first looked in, when I first like looked into your playing, and I remember, man, I think it was a freaking Twitter video.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. We did a lot of Twitter stuff.
I think
Yeah.
it was a Twitter video, but then I saw you were posting stuff about being endorsed by Mesa Boogie
Oh, we had this conversation
on
remember?
Twitter.
Yes.
I think it was on Twitter.
Yeah.
We had never, and even
Yep.
like after that, I felt like I didn't really like meet you. It was kind of like that's the guy that we just saw.
Yeah.
and he's endorsed by Mesa Boogie. I was like, dude, that's so sick.
My first interaction with Kiko was at Cowboy Ninja, right? I don't know if you guys were playing. Were you playing? You were
Dude,
playing.
I was playing, but yeah, I think
You
I
guys
remember
were
this.
playing, and
Yeah.
it was a KPV gig.
No, it was 4
No,
for 4.
no.
Oh,
George.
444, yes, with George, yeah.
With George J.
And,
Austin.
and then it was kind of like, it was like more like we didn't really say hi to each other, like outside. We were like chilling outside, and you're like, "So how's that Mesa Boogie endorsement or something like that?" In passing, like,
guitar
"What's
player
up,
knows
bro?
what
I'm
that's like."
Peter."
Yeah. No, because also I felt like I kind of like there was already an introduction somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like we know each other. We
Virtually,
both know
yeah.
each other. And yeah.
And then it was kind of like, yeah, it was just, yeah, it was
What-
pretty organic.
What is Mesa Boogie? What is that?
Mesa Boogie is a really like boutique, boutique nowadays you would say, but it's a huge guitar amplifier company.
Yeah.
And like
guitar amps. Yeah.
like all your favorite classic rock records are made on them. Carlos Santana is one of the most famous Mesa Boogie guys. Like he only uses a Mesa Boogie made with freaking snake skin on the outside. Like it's,
Yeah.
they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous and they sound dirty and great. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely great amps. Yeah, for sure. Made up in like Northern California. Yeah, that was a cool interaction with you. Man, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. You, now
honest,
that we
I don't
talk about
remember.
it.
I don't even honestly until you brought it up, I didn't remember it either. That also
for
had to
four.
be like 20.
Maybe 18?
No, that one was
Or-
later. Maybe like 2018 or 2019.
That was later. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you here for that one?
I think I was just home for like family.
Oh.
Pretty sure I was just I came back for like vacation or something, but yeah. Because once we did that liberation thing in 2017, I left Tribal Theory in 2019, but we never did another show. And I don't think I didn't perform with anybody else other than Jason J and 56 Hope after that. So yeah, that had to be like a family event. We came out and just hung out, you know.
I want to say, you know, you've been back. We've seen you pretty often, but my favorite times that you come back are when you're doing a Holly show. First of all, because we get all of the boys, all of our friends together, and
Yeah.
we get a band to back you up and to play your Holly music.
Yeah.
Even though Feel That is never in the set, but but like it's nice to see you just be in the forefront of it.
Yeah.
And all the boys, Shabi right here.
Yep, Shabi right here.
Shabi,
Bar.
Zach, Jess.
Jess.
Jess just played that same show with you last night. So did Shabi.
Yep. Kiko was running
Those
sound.
the first few times I was running sound while doing the show.
Yeah.
Stuff like dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, like that was my first experience as a solo artist. You guys were like really my like first band,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And even
yeah.
before that, we had never, it was the same kind of thing where we had never like, met again after the Cowboy Ninja thing. It was kind of like you reached out like, hey, bro. Or Shabi might have reached out.
Yeah.
Like, you want to play for Peter? And then I messaged you like, hey, bro, I'm so down to play.
Yeah. That's exactly, I think, how it happened. And it was the way that it worked out, it was just like super organic. Everybody was good vibes and everybody did their homework. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times that like you hire people, like you don't really know what to expect.
Yep.
But like the caliber of musicianship in Guam, especially like now, like you know that you're getting a good product. And for sure, dude, that was such a fun time. Like that was some of the most fun shows I've ever done.
Yeah.
Do your homework, guys. I talked about it last week. If you do your homework, you'll get some gigs, bro. You'll get some gigs.
For sure.
You can play with Håle. You can play with Kolohe Kai. You can play with KPV if you do your homework.
Yeah. It's all about, it's work ethic, I feel, is like paramount, right? Because if you show up, like yes, I think talent is very important, but like I think work ethic beats talent every time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, because talent doesn't fit into a system.
No, yeah. If you're talented but you can't show up to practice and you know.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
There's no I in talent.
Ooh. I had to spell that in my head.
Dad joke.
Dad joke. Let me fact check him real quick. T-A.
I think he's lying, actually. What was it like when you got the call to be like, we want to bring you home as Håle and to play? It was for Beyond the Reef, right?
Beyond the Reef, yeah. Oh, like, I mean.
Have to shout out Frankie.
Yeah, big up Frankie.
Yeah. Frankie, Ray, all the Beyond the Reef guys. John Bermudez.
Frankie McJohn hit me up and he was like, hey, bro, like, you know, like, and I've known Frankie from the very beginning, like when he was playing, he had a band called Rock Bottom. And like at the same time with like Table for Five, like we would always do these gigs and like I would see him all the time. And I didn't know Frankie very well in the beginning, but like through the years I got to know him and like he hit me up and he was like, I see what you're doing. We're doing this whole like, you know, like Guam type of music festival, which is like showcasing a lot of Guam talent, like not only here, but you know, from that are based in the States too. And
there were other like great reggae acts too. Pacific Dub, Pacifier, Mike Pinto. That was that was the favorite. Like that was the guy for that show. Mike Pinto was the guy. Jason J. He brought in Jason J. He headlined the entire show.
Brought Jason J. We did the whole Håle thing and we went to Saipan. And
we did the Saipan shows.
Yeah, we did Saipan.
We flew the baby plane back. Remember that?
Yeah.
We couldn't have.
Actually, no. Her and I flew. We flew United.
Yeah.
We weren't that daring yet. Nowadays, put me on the small plane, bro.
Yeah. They're like, hey,
freaking put me in the pilot seat. I'll take over. I got you.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, everybody else can get United. Let's see if you can get back to Guam. Let's see if you actually can arrive back in Guam. No, it was fun.
I think it was because we wanted to stay one more day in Saipan.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys were planning to leave like the day after the show and Kiko were like, no, we can show one more day.
That was so fun. Yeah. No, that was definitely an experience because I've never flown a small plane like as a passenger.
Yeah,
right?
This guy has a pilot license and he was still scared to get on the freaking plane.
That was, I mean, it's crazy because they put you on a scale. Right. So like there's
you and your bags.
And they're like, because it's like they got to make sure that the weight and balance of the plane is like the center of gravity is like in where it should be. And if it's not, like, you're gonna have a bad time.
You can't go on the app and say, I want to sit here.
Yeah,
I want to change. No, it's assigned seating.
Yeah.
The weight of the plane depends on where you sit.
Yeah, and how it lands.
Yeah, for real.
Your life depends on the scale that they're all weighing.
Peter and Frankie opposite sides. Shabi, Zach this side. You know, Austin sit in the middle. Cello.
That was fun, man. That was definitely one of the best like experiences, and like for that being truly my first experience as a artist and playing with a band, like I couldn't have asked for like a better crew. You bro.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Shout out to my MD, by the way.
Yep.
Shabi Bob Pangolinan. Thank you very much.
Pull up the clip. I'll send the clip. It'll be there.
That was even with Beyond the Reef. That was the first time I got to play with you and Shabi and Jay's set.
Yeah.
And we never played before.
Right.
Ever. That was our first time Beyond the Reef. They're like, okay, Lee, we want you to harmonize, but now that we're here at practice, how about you just also pick up a tambourine? Like, how about you also do that too?
Yeah.
And that was fun.
That was so fun, and like vocally, like that made the whole experience like sound like super wide, and it was like the epitome of like a live show like that I envisioned for Jason J. Like that was a show.
Yeah, we sounded pretty good.
It sounded so good.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
My first memory of you two like being together, or even actually, yeah, being together and singing together, was when you guys were rehearsing the Harbor's Clothesline. Jay goes, "Harbor's closed, harbor is closed."
Trying to figure it
Don't
out.
give me no. You guys were rehearsing that for like a good half hour. I was like, yes, sir.
Oh, that was fun, man.
It was fun.
You got auto tune in the pod? I'll do it. Yeah, no, give me the audio. I'll auto tune my vocals there.
Yeah.
So, what's next for Håle, for Kolohe Kai with Peter as their guitar player, for Peter Cruz too? Like in your life, what do you have coming up? What are you looking forward to?
I have a lot of I like to call them like the skeletons, you know, like the demos. Right? I have a lot of demos for Håle that's sitting on the computer that need some of your work. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of like I'm working with on a song with Jason. So Jason J is going to be on one of the songs. Me and Shabi, we do a lot of like collaborative production stuff. So I'll jump on his songs, and he's working with other people, and then he'll do a lot of work for me. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of Håle stuff on the back burner right now.
In the oven, not the back burner, because it's still cooking.
Sure, yeah, it's still cooking.
Yeah, the back burner's broken, bro. The back burner got no butane no more.
Yeah,
This is in the oven.
Yeah, it's in the oven. It's ready. It'll be ready eventually.
Yeah.
It's just kind of pick and choose like what's gonna fit like the vibe, the future
125
vibe.
degrees, yeah.
Yeah.
Slow cook.
Keeping it warm, yeah. But we also Kolohe Kai plays in the Philippines in September. But in a couple weeks we play Holo in
Tacoma Dome.
Yeah, Tacoma Dome. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm bummed. That's the only one we're not doing.
I know, man.
We did every other Holo this year except Tacoma.
And we're always on opposite nights, so I don't really get to see
We're never
you.
on the same night.
Yeah. So I rarely get to see Kiko like when we do these shows together, but hopefully there'll be more in the future.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah, but we have Holo, and then I go on my honeymoon in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
So
This is a good time to flex the ring again. Give him a little
Eat fit.
ring.
fit. Hashtag it fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of like just personal life. Yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. My mom's gonna come out. My mom lives on Guam, so she's gonna come out to California and spend Christmas with us. And then next year's is kind of open, and I just want to focus on my artistry, and like, you know, if there's any Kolohe Kai gigs that present themselves, like I'm definitely gonna be there and do it. You know, be there for the band, and you know, I love supporting Roman's you know, goals and visions, and I think we all feel the same way when it comes to Kolohe Kai. He's just doing such big things. I feel, as far as like being like such a young artist back in 2009, like kind of like the OG like Hawaiian reggae stuff, and to revitalize it again after 10, 15 years. He's doing big things, so we're all here to support it and be, you know, his right hands when it comes to the music and the touring. So he's got a big tour coming up next year. We're super stoked about that. He'll be releasing an album probably later next year, and the tour will follow. Yeah, so just kind of in between, like, you know, doing gigs. Like, I want to help my friends too, and you know, Jason, Shabi, and a bunch of other friends out there like Nate and all them. They're all doing tours through the rest of the year and doing shows, and
Via Tribal Seeds,
yeah, FIA, and whatever gigs present themselves, and just working on writing music. So that's kind of the goal.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I'm gonna pull a quick Uno reverse, because last week I got asked what are some of my like tour essentials. So you can't say 14 pairs of underwear, okay? Even though I don't think you own, you don't look like you own 14 pair of underwear. What are your go-to tour essentials that maybe not everyone might have?
Okay, this is a great question, because I always wanted to be asked this question.
Thank her, not me. I'm just reversing it.
Dudes, okay, so for me, like when I pack, all my shit gets wrinkled, right? And so with Kolohe Kai, we wear Aloha print shirts, right? So like, the island print with like the button ups and all that. So guarantee when you put that in your suitcase, I use like these compression bags. So like I have more room in my suitcase. Every time I take it out, it's fully wrinkled. But there's times where you'll go from venue to venue. You'll know like gigging on, like on tour, you're on the bus. You don't have an iron. You don't have an ironing board.
Some venues are nice enough to have steamers, though.
Steamers, yeah. Some venues do definitely have steamers. My number one, and it may be a travel thing too, but my number one tour essential is Downy wrinkle release. So it's literally this little bottle that you spray on your clothes and you just stretch it.
Yeah.
And like it's like my mom ironed my shirt. Like I'm back at Trinity, dude, and she ironed my uniform.
Dang.
That's my number one. That's number one.
Noted.
Eye mask. It's like having a mask. Like,
okay, to sleep.
To sleep.
Not one of those like the patches.
No.
Okay.
Not the beauty one.
Not the beauty one.
Not the beauty eye mask. It's like like
I mean,
one
it
of the
looks
eye
like
masks.
you use the beauty ones, but not enough of that.
Yeah, no, none of that. Other than that, I would say so an eye mask is and on top of that, the eye mask I have one that is it's like a packable one.
Yeah.
So it's like this big. It's like tiny, and then you open it and it's like a giant eye mask. A packable backpack or packable fanny does wonders. So we travel with gear, right? And a lot of times, like I'm afraid to check in like my guitar or my guitar equipment.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah, and I found this backpack that you can fold, and it's like this big. Mm-hmm. And when you get on the plane, like all the stuff that you would need, like essentials, like your chapstick, your hand sanitizer, your AirPods, all these little things, right? Like that you carry, the essentials. They're in the guitar case because you need to consolidate and make room. You put the packable backpack in your guitar case, and then when you get on board, you unpack all of that out of your guitar and put it in the backpack and then put it under your seat. Because usually airlines will make you check that in, right? Because now you have like three personal items, right? Or like a carry-on and personal item. So that had changed the game for me in the last couple of weeks. Like having that packable backpack, game over. And the wrinkle release is number one though.
Temu or Amazon?
I found this brand. It was like on an Instagram ad. It's called Matador. They do like
Instagram ad.
They do like these like hiking brands.
Okay.
Yeah. Or it's like a hiking brand, like so. But the quality of their stuff is super cool, and I ended up buying one of their things in like at Narita Airport in Japan.
Yeah.
And I've just been a fan of the brand, so like I've been buying all their stuff and like put it in my guitar case, and then I'll like beat the system and put all the shit back in the bag and put it under my seat.
Yeah.
With my third item, you know.
What? So you said this is your second year being the guitarist for Kolohe Kai.
Second year, yeah.
How many tours have you done?
This year was a third tour. We just finished a tour with Revolution last month.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Out of the 3 tours, what was like the most memorable city or show?
Oh, easy. Last year, their summer tour, we played Petco. So the Padres in San Diego, we played.
Hometown show.
That was a hometown show for sure. So so at Petco Park in downtown San Diego, there's like another park outside in the outfield, and it fits like 10,000 people or something like that. And they have a built-in stage, and I want to say one of Kolohe Kai's biggest like as far as like mainland like shows, one of their biggest shows, and like they sell out all the time, is San Diego, because there's like a lot of Filipino community. There's a big Filipino community and Islander community alike.
Big market for island music.
Huge market for island music, yeah. And that show was amazing because we came off a flight, like we had like a couple hours of sleep, and then we came into San Diego. And I'm obviously home, but we stayed downtown because it's like a downtown venue, and we needed to be close for, you know, all the, like the daily stuff we need to do to get set up and all that. So we did that show with Boog, and just being in that square where they had the concert, it literally looks like ants. because there's so
Shoulder to
many
shoulder.
people, shoulder to shoulder. And like, it's not like how some venues have like a separate VIP type of thing. It just felt like everybody was like, it was just one giant crowd. Everybody singing the songs, screaming. As far as like most memorable, that was definitely one. But Guam, this past show last night, that's number one for me.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that, just like because you two are in the same boat where he's in Moli, you're in Kolohe Kai,
Right.
and you guys have just played multiple shows in multiple cities in front of thousands of people, and you guys have put in so much work and dedication. And what was that feeling like after working so hard and to bring that show back home? And this is where you grew up. This is where everything started, and just to bring that back, how did that feel for you?
I mean, the thing that like the way that I kind of like view my position like within the band is like again, like we're kind of like vessels to spread the message of aloha that Roman has really spent his time trying to perpetuate, you know? But with Roman's attitude is so positive, and he made me feel like, you know, like a good example is like right before we went on stage, we pray. We just have like a little camaraderie thing, and we pray. And he's like, Fricka, this is your hometown. Like, this is your hometown show. And like, and he just made me feel like it felt like his family was meeting my family. You know what I mean? And like his message is like all about aloha, but like he also combined that with our message of like, you know, sharing the Hafaday spirit and stuff like that. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. I felt like I was jamming with my friends from high school. That was so crazy. Yeah, it felt like I've known these guys all my life. So it was very special to me. And I think that they finally got an opportunity where they could like experience Guam. Like a lot of them, like for example, our drummer Calvin, like this was his first time coming with Kolohe Kai. And I gifted them like these shells. So my uncle made shells, and we blow the shell. Oh, so that's
what he held up?
Yeah, so my uncle made that shell for him, and he blows a shell during He'eroa, that part where the halau starts to dance.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they definitely got that Hafaday spirit, like that perhaps they may have not experienced in the past. It's a different experience now, and I don't know. Yeah, it's really hard to put into words.
Because they brought a local boy with them this time.
Yeah. And no, it's and I wanted that was my main goal. Is like, yeah, I'm here. We're gonna you know, play a show, and I'm gonna do my job, and we're gonna kill it. But also, like, I wanted to make sure that they experience the Chamorro hospitality, and if I can do that in any way, like, I took every opportunity to show them like this is gonna be one of your favorite shows, and I feel like everybody felt that way. Yeah.
And thank you for that. Thank you for extending our Hafaday spirit and making it part of you guys', you know, for helping them have a good time here.
Yeah, they had an amazing time. Yeah, we were sitting in Roman's room, and we were just looking out like at the beach, and like I had a moment too. I was like, damn, like we have a beautiful thing here, you know? Like,
yeah. I have many moments like that where I'm like, man, this is where we grew up. Like, this is what we're used to. Beautiful beaches, like sand, and just, you know, that spirit. And sometimes I take that for granted too, because I've just been here and I've never moved off island, where it's like, it's crazy how accessible it is that I could just wake up one morning and be like, oh, I want to go to the beach. And the ocean is such a healing, it's such a healing part of our culture too. 100%. And I forget that so many times.
Yep. Yeah, and they actually got a chance to go to the beach before it started to rain. Yeah. And then after that, you know, the weather was beautiful all night. But like, yeah, it's definitely healing, and I think that's a perfect word to explain it. And I think they got the quintessential experience as far as like when it comes to coming to Guam and enjoying the culture that we have here. Yeah, I don't know. I can't put it into words. It was just amazing. Like everything about it was amazing.
Yeah. And the show was amazing.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
It was
a lot of fun. Yeah. It was. And the crowd, oh my gosh, when you did round and round and everybody put their lights up, that always makes me emotional. I'm like, wow.
How did they handle the heat, bro? Because man, when we brought the Håle guys here, when they went in the ocean, they're like, oh no, hot tub. They're like, hot tub, we good.
I think they liked it. Me and Calvin when we were doing sound check, he's like, brah, this humidity is mean, bro. Like,
yeah, good thing he brought his contacts.
Yeah.
He told me if he brought his glasses, that stuff would have been fucked up, bro.
We were talking about, like, you know, when you're in the van and like you're in the aircon and then you step out and just everything fogs up. We were all laughing about that. But other than that, I mean, we were worried about the rain, but you know, there is something bigger than us that was, you know, on our side and just kind of gave way for a perfect night. And
the entire crowd was blessed by good weather.
Bro, yeah.
It didn't rain once, but it was raining all week. All the way up until
even the morning
of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Afternoon of, actually.
Sound check was rained out. Yeah. It was crazy. No, that was definitely one of my favorite shows I've ever played.
Yeah.
And I'm not being biased, you know, but a little bit.
You're not being Jesse Bias?
I would never be Jesse Bias. Legendary.
No one is. Only Jesse Bias. We'll get him on the pod eventually, you know.
Oh, yes.
Uncle,
Uncle,
fan, por favor.
Please. Yeah. Besides like family, what do you miss most about home?
I think the food. You know, I mean, like they have so much great food in San Diego, but to be able to like just
Hot
go to
Pockets
any Hot Pockets, you know,
bowl.
ham sandwich. No, no, it's just to be able to like go and like support local like local restaurants and local businesses, like, but that serve like true to the core Chamorro food. Like, that's what I miss. But I would say ultimately the people, my family, you know, my mom still lives on island, a lot of my mom's extended family. That's what I miss the most. And just being here, like, just being able to like sit out on the beach and just be. You don't really get that opportunity in San Diego as much because like I live like about 30 minutes from the beach, and it's just in general it's just a different vibe. Like just sitting out here and just sitting there and looking out. Yeah. Looking at the lights and looking at the sky and like the stars and stuff like that. It's just not an opportunity that I get very often. So
back to the food. when you land in the plane, like what's the restaurant like you're instantly like, I'm gonna go here?
Out here in Guam?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jamaican Grill.
Do you honestly?
I am a big fan of Jamaican Grill.
If I'm being so honest,
I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
man, serious food.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Now, hear me out.
No. Honestly,
hear me out.
No, let him talk.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Peter, because we all have stuff to say about Jamaican Grill.
Fine. Yeah. No, I think their Finadeni's pretty solid, dude. Their Finadeni's pretty solid. Okay. But that's a big thing for me. But also, like, I love the burgers at Jamaican Grill.
It's one of the best burgers on island.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say about Jamaican Grill is, yeah, man, that's serious food. I love, dude. Whenever like, there's a whole cliche about when off-island bands come to Guam, when Hawaiian boys or anyone, they're gonna take them to Jamaican Grill.
Yeah, everybody goes.
And after taking our boys to Jamaican Grill, I was like, this is actually a really good tradition. Like, it works out.
I love Jamaican Grill.
They still get a little bit of Chamorro flavor with the Finadeni, with the red rice. But then you also get some, you know, and it's still, I don't know what, like true, I mean, I've only had true like Jamaican food once.
Yeah.
But our Jamaican Grill like barbecue tastes like, it also kind of tastes like Chamorro barbecue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, aside from that, like I like just going to like just the shops and like going to like just some mom and pop shops and getting empanada and like getting Calaguin.
Yeah.
You know, like and the one thing I haven't had yet is like I need manha tatizas. Like I haven't had manha tatizas. That's my number one.
Too.
Have you ever tried the manha waffles? I don't even know who makes it.
Oh my gosh,
but you have to order
wild.
like right. Every auntie has, or every family has one auntie that has a connect to get manha waffles.
That's wild,
dude. And you order the manha waffles, and at the party, whether it be a Finakpo Nobena or a rosary or Finakpo rosary, there's always the freaking the The Manha waffles, and I swear they're better than the Manha Tititas.
Oh my
If you haven't
gosh.
tried
Well,
that yet,
I need that.
you need
I
to try Manha
dude.
waffles. And
I feel like that would change my life.
they're just more cakey and
Yeah.
more. They're not as thin.
Yeah.
So you get more like meat in
Right.
the bite. I mean, you know,
I would love that.
Manha waffles.
I didn't know you like manha that much. Yeah.
That's a lot
Honestly,
of passion.
I don't think I've ever had manha waffles. I'm like,
And then so at the fiesta, right? There's no butter for it or syrup because you don't need that.
Right.
But man, when you take it for you get your
gluten.
you get your balutan and it's in one fucking Ziploc bag, and then you warm it up the next day. You just
Oh
throw
my
some
God.
fucking
Yeah,
country
that's the
crock on
best.
that. Ooh,
bro.
my goodness.
Yep. You're making me hungry, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna go to King's after. Huh? So if anyone wants
Tradition.
to, it's the
Guam
new tradition. If you want a free King's meal, come on the pod.
Leche.
She bought me mine last
On
week.
his
I was the
dime.
guest last
That's on
week.
his dime.
I was the guest last week.
Whose credit card is this going on?
I know
It's going on his-
first
show the-
episode is a co-host
Actually,
nice
no.
promising
Actually,
king.
go
yeah.
on his,
Wait,
yeah.
wait,
Let's see
wait,
his.
wait,
Speaking of
wait,
credit
wait.
cards,
I gotta show you guys something. So one of my big things is like a lot of people don't know this about me. I freaking love Pokemon.
we know.
I
Yeah,
collect
we
a
know,
lot.
we know.
We
Yeah.
fucking know.
Anyway,
We know. This is
so
his
my-
biggest flex he's ever had.
So my boss.
Don't show your numbers.
My boss, we're kind of like geeky like that. Like they have this word, it's like otaku, right? So like you like Japanese culture and stuff like that. This, yeah, check it out. Anyway,
Hide your numbers.
You go
Hey,
first.
hide your
I choose you.
numbers.
Give us your best Ash impression. Charizard, come on, give it to us.
I wanna be the very best. No one ever was. So I got a funny story, by the way. So we were in Japan.
Yeah.
We were in Japan, and I went to get a train ticket. So I had like a 24-hour layover there, and my wife was like, "Dude, this is silly. Like, why do you have this?" I was like, just
Chill.
let me
wife.
let me have fun with it for a second.
Yeah, you had your wedding. I have my Pokemon cards.
Exactly. Yeah. So I went to get a train ticket and I handed it to the cashier, and he was like
Oh
"What is
my
this?"
god, Charizard! I'm Japanese. That wasn't that racist.
Yeah, fair. Yes, that's fair.
Dude.
He said, he looked at my card and he goes, "Oh, sugoi, sugoi." And I was like, "Dude, that's what I was waiting for. That's why I have this card."
How should you catch him?
Charizard, first edition.
Does that mean that's your favorite Pokemon?
I don't think I have a favorite Pokemon.
You look like
Okay.
a Rayquaza kind of guy.
I like
Or
Rayquaza.
Rayquaza?
I think it would be.
Or is that a rap name?
I think it's
I'm not sure.
Rayquaza. Yeah.
Rayquaza, rap name.
I would say Charizard for sure.
Charizard's your favorite.
Top 3 for sure. Yeah.
How did you get into Pokemon?
I was when I was like, do you remember Star Cards where Jack in
Yeah.
the Box is next to it, right?
Yeah.
Used to be there.
Star Sports Cards.
Sports cards, yeah.
Star Sports
My
Cards.
uncle, the one we talked about earlier, he would take me there and he would buy us booster boxes, like full like boxes. Those boxes now are worth like $36,000.
Yeah.
The same ones we sat in my grandpa's room sweating, opening up cards, looking for the hollows.
Yeah,
you know?
opening them and making them way less valuable
Yeah,
in the future.
yeah. Now they're worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But that's how I got into it. I was just a kid, and like, it was a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you into Pokemon?
No, I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. Yeah,
I like Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah. I watched the show. I mean,
Yeah.
I should catch him. I choose you.
You're allowed to say that.
Dude.
So you said. Yeah, you want? Let's wait. Okay. Peter needs to pee. He also needs to catch a
I
flight.
might need to use a
No, wait.
restroom. Is that okay?
Peter needs to
Nah.
pee. He needs to catch a flight. I think we had a really great conversation. And
Yeah.
thank you
no,
so much for
I'm-
being here.
Dude, thanks for having me. I'm really stoked that you guys got to ask. Whoa, can't even speak English. Thank you for asking me to be here. Big up to Clutch Music. This is super fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great job last night.
Thank
great
you.
job.
Killer
representing
job.
representing the island, representing the island and being an inspiration for guys like me. you know, guys like me, other guitarists on Guam, other musicians, artists,
Oh,
To
bro.
everyone, yeah.
to everybody.
No.
You're an inspiration.
Likewise.
You're a really good role model for a lot of people.
Thank you. I
You're a
appreciate that.
straight guy, and you're really, really fun to talk to, bro.
Thank you, brother. No, we honestly like this music thing. Like when it comes to Guam musicians, if we don't support each other, we can't do what we're doing. So
We can't, yeah.
yeah. So
You
I'm
gotta
appreciative of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to tell my story, and let's keep doing it, man.
Yeah,
Peter
let's
Cruz,
keep doing
everybody.
it.
Holly.
Viva!
Viva!